On August 31st, Australians will take to the streets in a historic march for Australia, but over the past few days, I've seen voices pop up trying to tell Aussies not to go. Voices not from the left, not from the mainstream media, but from self-proclaimed conservative immigrants on social media. People who think they can tell Australians whether we should go, who should and shouldn't go, and how it should be run. And also, unfortunately, some bad takes from right-wing Aussies. Today I'm going to show you exactly what they've said, why it's wrong, and why this event is so important if we actually want to protect and win back the future of this country.
To support us, consider becoming a YouTube channel member or Patreon, or check out our merch, links in the description below.
Let's be absolutely clear on what the March for Australia is. This is not some random stunt or event. It's a peaceful, nationwide protest happening in 7 cities across the country, and its organisers have been very clear on the goals. Stop mass immigration, protect our heritage, and keep Australia Australian. They've set strict guidelines to keep the focus sharp. Only Australian flags allowed, no foreign flags. Peaceful, no violence, no chaos. And 100% grassroots, so not owned or run by any political party or group. This is about ordinary Australians taking a stand on one of the biggest issues, probably the biggest issue of our time, without letting the message get hijacked or changed. And major right-wing voices like Bob Katter, George Christensen, Ozpil, What's News, and more have spoken about and backed the event. But I've recently seen heaps of noise and bad takes and alleged smear attempts from mainly conservative immigrants, ones such as Big Chocky and Joel Jamal, and unfortunately even other right-wing media pages and people like Reignite Democracy, The People's Revolution, and even Topher Field, making false claims about the event in order to stop Aussies from attending.
Let's talk about the march on the 31st of August. People keep asking if I'm going, and the answer's fucking no. Why? It's organised by the NSN. These guys don't attend this march.
He was contacted by some people in these white nationalist circles, people who are basically in bed with the National Socialist Network, and when he realised that these people, he just handed the event to them.
The main claim is that it is being led by the NSN, a white nationalist group and alleged extremists, as they call them, and that because of this, the event is going to be racist. So if you're not a racist, you shouldn't go, is basically what they're saying. But that false claim has been completely disproven by the actual organisers themselves, stating this is not organised by any of the National Socialist Network members or by any one group. And they've also stated that it is not for monetary gain and they're not accepting donations or doing any merchandise. Tristan Van Rij, leader of the People's Revolution movement, has organised his own rally next month, apparently, because of this lie, and has people like Joel Jamal, promoting it and encouraging people to boycott this one.
And they are organising a rally for mid-September, a couple of weeks after this one. That's properly done, it's got proper messaging, it's got credible people that are actually going to be speaking at the rally. I'm going to be getting behind that one, not this one, because of the lack of information on this.
The issue here is the fact that we literally have immigrants saying who should or shouldn't attend an anti-immigration protest in our country that our ancestors built, founded, and fought for in the wars. I like most of these guys and what they stand for. Like Joel Jamal, for example, he's a Christian, I'm a Christian, you know, there's things that we have in common and things we align with, but just the truth and the reality is that it makes sense that all these immigrants are questioning the event or discouraging people from going with propaganda, fake narratives, because this event is literally about, quote, protecting our culture, heritage, and way of life, which was traditionally, and even in 1961, 98.7% white European, mainly Anglo-Saxon or Anglo-Celt, and 87.4% Christian, which we have majorly lost both this heritage and culture because of mass immigration from the third world. So of course they're not backing these protests, because if you bring the whole idea that this protest is about through to its end, that means no more immigrants like them coming in. And for them, could eventually lead to re-immigration like we are seeing in countries all over the West call for, Austria, UK, Germany, all around. And that would mean back to Colombia, back to Syria and wherever else for these people. But unfortunately, the even sadder thing is Topher Field, who I like, and he has a lot of great takes, and push back against the government, and he's done a lot of great things. But even he's bought into this anti-March narrative.
For those of you that are planning to go, please hear me when I tell you that this event has been hijacked, and it is not about Australia in the sense that you know it. This rally is about white Australia. Everyone who attends, including you, is going to be used as a prop, as a backdrop for a white supremacist publicity stunt.
I watched his video on it, and he makes a few points that are fine, but mainly he talks about how, it's white supremacists that are running this, and yeah, it's not the NSN, but they're still white supremacists pretty much. But overall, he makes a lot of weak points and weak arguments that are just really out of touch, if we're honest. And that was the main thing I got from watching his video. Unfortunately, Topher is just extremely out of touch. It just seems like he's adopting this 2010 mindset of oh no, I can't be called racist, oh no, we should all be afraid to be accused of racist or walking next to someone who is racist. And people don't care about that anymore. I don't know why he still thinks people care about that. Australians and people are not afraid to be called names if it's at the cost of literally losing our country and losing our heritage. And his comments section just proves it and just shows how out of touch he is on this issue and on this topic, because everyone in the comments is literally no, I'm still going, I'm fighting for Australia, we're gonna go anyway, because we're sick of the replacement that's happening in our country. That's what people are saying, and he's encouraging people not to go, unfortunately. And this mindset that Australians have, which I'll remind is the prominent mindset for true Aussies, makes sense. If China, which was built and founded by a specific ethnic group of people with a specific culture and way of life, if China was being replaced by non-Chinese people with a different culture and a different way of life, and with that bringing lots of issues to their country, the ethnic Chinese would not be happy. And, they would definitely not even let that happen. It wouldn't even come close to happening. But, that's what's happened in our country. And the reality is, Australians want the old Australia back, our culture and our heritage. And this event is just way bigger than any single personality, drama, or online opinion. It's about our future and our heritage as Australians. It's not about, oh no, the media might call us racist or something. It's no, we know that we're not racist. We don't hate people of other races, but we just want to preserve our country. That's just what the modern mindset of Aussies are. We want to preserve our heritage. And it's about whether Australians will actually stand up when the moment comes and not just talk about it on the internet. We're in the middle of a housing crisis where young Australians in my generation, Gen Z, can't afford a home. Wages have been stagnant for years. Crime rates are continuously climbing. And culturally, we've been transformed, changed as a culture without our consent. And Aussies are convinced, according to the statistics, that it's largely because of mass immigration. And this march is the first ever truly national event focused on these issues for us as Australians. So we're not going to let online voices or immigrants sway us from going. And we're not going to let these voices, even though if they're great people, their opinions are bad. And we're not going to let that fracture this event before it even begins. Because if we do, then we're sending the message and acting out exactly what the establishment wants, that we can't unite, that we can't organize, and that we're too busy or distracted to challenge them in their tyranny. Peaceful, united attendance is going to send a much louder message than an online argument. And a lot of people are going. All my mates are going. Everyone I know, my uncle, his friends, they're all going. And so, if you agree that immigration is out of control, if you agree Australia's identity is worth protecting, and if you agree that we've lost our national identity, then there's actually no excuse to sit this one out. So, here's the bottom line. Sunday, 31st of August, 12 noon, 7 cities, March for Australia. Don't let these false claims and so-called conservatives, or I guess they are conservatives, but with bad opinions, stop you from standing up for your country. This is our chance to show the world that Australians still have a voice and that we're not afraid to use it. You can see the exact meeting points for each city on screen now and the official March link in the description. And like and share this video to get the word out. And now's the time if you want to buy our merch so you can hopefully get it before the march. Check out our full information video also, which is on screen now about the march, or one of our other videos on screen. God bless Australia, and Christ is King.